There are some certain thoughts I think that it has drawn a lot of African youth backwards. And as a young man who has been in the field of the media, who is much interested in the development of Africa, I've decided to look about certain things, the reason why Africa is where it is today. And I realized that there are some of the thoughts that keep pulling down for Africa. One, life begins at 40. These are most of the thoughts that we do here. My dear brothers in Africa, don't ever accept this kind of mentality from our elders. Life does not begin at any 40. Yes, life does not begin at any 40. Life begins the very moment you were born. What am I trying to say? Let's stop deceiving the youth, telling them life begins at 40. Why? These are the difference between we and the Europeans. We are telling our children that life begins at 40. To the extent that the constitution of this country, you must be 40 years before you can become a president of this country, Ghana. I don't know of other African countries. Life does not begin at any 40. You may have your ideology, during that time you will get to know the benefit of life. Never. No. It doesn't necessarily mean about age. Life begins the very moment you were born. These are some of the certain thoughts that keep putting most of the youth into captivity. Life begins the very moment you were born. Many youths supposed to do something good for themselves. Oh, for this matter, let me wait because life begins at 40. At 40, that one I have to see what I can do. Life begins at the very moment you were born. Stop telling your children, stop telling the youth of Africa. These are common speeches from most of the leaders of Africa. That life begins at 40. Life does not begin at any 40. The time they were inventing machines and other stuff, we are sitting here telling the youth that life begins at 40. So my dear brothers in Africa, life does not begin at 40. Life begins the very day you were born. The very time you realize that I can do something for yourself. That is the very moment from your 18 going, my dear brother, my dear sister. Life begins at the very day you were born. Life does not begin at 40. So if there is something for you to do today, do it now. Don't wait for any 40. And the second thing I want to add, there is nothing like future leaders. There is nothing like future leaders. I think this might be the first thing you are hearing this. My dear brothers in Africa, my dear brothers in Africa, there is nothing like future leaders. Yes, the Europeans are telling their children that you are a leader. But in Africa, we are telling the children that they are future leader. Have you seen the differences? Have we seen the differences? When you bring an African child and you bring an European child right here, you will be able to know the differences of their thinking. Not that they are more special than us. Never. The problem is the kind of advices, the kind of languages we do tell our children. I'm a teacher. These are the kind of thing we do tell our children, which is wrong. They are not future leaders, they are leaders. So the Europeans will tell their children that you are a leader. So automatically you realize that these children will start exhibiting their leadership skills. They try to do something like as a leader. So you see the person to be a young, but the person is doing something that is a beyond imagination, a beyond comprehension. Why? Because the parents told this particular child that you're a leader. So the person has started asking Daddy, what are the qualities of a good leader? They begin to ask questions. But in Africa, we are telling our children that they are future leaders. So they are waiting for the future to come. But don't forget that we are always living in the future. There is nothing like future. Either you believe it or not, there is nothing like future. We are always living in the future. Today was yesterday's future, right? Has something changed in your life? Let me repeat. Today was yesterday's future, right? Has something changed in your life? Good. Meaning tomorrow will be today's what? Future. Have you planned something today? My dear brothers and sisters, let's not deceive ourselves. There's nothing like future. We are always in the future. So it means that if you're not putting things in place to achieve what you want, there is nothing like what we call the future. Yes, we are always living the future. So don't let anybody deceive you. Don't let any motivational speaker deceive you. My dear brother and my dear sister, you are in your future. If your life is messed up, don't wait for the future. There's nothing like future. You are in your future already. Your present is the future. We are always in the future. There's nothing like future. We are always in the future. Do things right. Put things right. If you are living a relationship that it does not move well and you are doing all your best, it doesn't succeed, there is nothing like future, my dear brother. Yes. So let's stop telling our children that they are future leaders. Let's start telling them that they are leaders. When you put a bird in a cage and this bird wants to free itself, and you are telling the bird that, oh, don't worry today. In the future, like tomorrow, I will free you. Do you think this bird will try itself to free itself today? 70% no, it will not do any effort. But when you tell the bird, hey, there is nobody going to save you, you are in your future already, you realize that the bird will do all best it can to free itself. The same thing the mind is. The moment you put something in the future, it put the brain to sleep. It limits effort. It limits creativity. It limits enthusiasm. You get what I mean? This is the reason why we don't have to tell our kids that they are future leaders. We have to tell them we are leaders. So my dear brothers and sisters, the youth of Africa, we are not future leaders. We are leaders of today. And the third thing, I think some of the advice we do give our children. In Africa, one thing I've realized when I'm in this teaching job, I've realized is that most of our parents who are poor, they end up advising their children to be in the same poverty era. Yes. So that's why sometimes people are poor and then realize that their family becomes the same poor. It's not about spirit. It's not about anything. Sometimes it's about the mentality and some of the advices they do receive. And there are some people, they've also inherited wealth and at the end of the day, they become poor. Why? Let me explain this. In Africa, especially in the poor community, they will start advise their child or their children. Samba, you see, your parents, we are poor, and as you're going to school, be careful. If you go and cause problem for yourself, nobody is going to help you. There's no backing bone. Nobody is going to help you. So when you go, be careful. You are from a poor family. You are from a poor family. You are from a poor family. How many times did I repeat this? 3 times. You are from a poor family. We have 2 types of poor people. This is the first one I explained. This is another poor person. Samba, your family, we are poor. But Samba, we know that we don't have. But we, your parents, your family, we believe in you. We believe that you can change the family. Yes, we may be poor, but Samba, as you're going to school, we will do our best to support you. If you go and they ask you to buy something, don't be afraid or don't feel shy or don't think that because your parents, we are poor, we cannot take care of you. Call us, even if we selling the last thing of our property to take good care of you, we shall do that. Yes, we know that you are the king of the family. You can save the family. So far that we couldn't make it, it does not mean you cannot make it. You can make it, and we believe in you. We will support you everything that it takes for you to come and save the family. Samba, when you go, take good care of yourself and work hard. Don't forget anything at all. Don't hesitate to call us. We, your family, your parents, we are there to support you. These are 2 poor people with a different advice. Who do you think is likely to succeed? Is it the first one or the second one? So you realize that the first parents whom they advise the child, Samba, when you go to school, be careful. You are from a poor family. When you do something, nobody will be there for you. You realize that this particular child will go to the school, and at the end of the day, most of them will become timid, will become poor, will be acting like a poor person. Because why? The parents advise him to behave like a poor person. So they will begin to live like their problem. So realize that most of them, they will go to the school and they are bullying them, they are infringing upon their right. They will never say anything. Why? That's how a poor person must behave. Humble, even if they are sitting on your nerves. Yes. These are the kind of things we see in the society. These are the kind of things in our society. Yes. So you realize that at the end of the day, this guy is likely to follow bad friends. Because the family has already said there's nothing in the house. So if you come in there, they ask you to buy something, you're going there, nobody's going to get it for you. So if a bad friend can influence the person that, oh, let's go and take this and get money, let's go and pass this way to get money, the person is likely to follow and go. Yes, the person is likely to follow and go. Because there's no hope. But the second one, who motivates that Samba, whatever be the case, call us. Even if there is a friend want to deceive somebody, oh, Samba, let's go and do this to get dubious way to get money. Samba will just, why? To get money and do it. And they ask us to buy these books, and your parents don't have. You see, whenever a friend or somebody tries to convince the person by saying this, Samba could ask yourself that, why am I going to look for that money? Meanwhile, my parents or whatever be the case, I should call them. Meaning they are ready to support me. So it's better for me to just call them for them to help me more than going all that way. The person is likely to decline that kind of negative advice from the friend. But the one advising you are poor, nobody will be there for you, the person will go because there is no hope anywhere. Yes. So have you seen this kind of, there are two types of poor people with a different thinking. So realize that there will be poor people in the community. At the end of the day, one will succeed and one will still be the same. Why? Because these are the kind of advices. They advise their children like their problem. So the children end up becoming like the same problem. And they'll keep on shifting, blaming others for their failure. You see the problem? Now, we have two types of rich people too. In the morning, Daddy, it's my birthday, I want this. Daddy will buy it for me. Mommy, today I'm going to school. I want to eat this kind of food. They will buy it. And Daddy, I saw this kind of shoe. Daddy, I want you to buy for me. They will buy. Daddy, I saw this. Everything that the child will say, the parents will provide. Everything the parents will provide. At the end of the day, you realize that if the parents are rather giving the fish, when the parents died and they give the property to the person, most of them will misuse it or mismanage it, and they will become back to zero. And people will start shifting blame to spirit and other things that they are the cause of it, blaming family members. Most of the times, no, never. It's not the family members. So. Why? Because they are rather giving the fish to the child without teaching the child how to fish. You see the problem? So you realize that this is the particular child the parents should have said, hey, Samba, this kind of things I'm buying for you, you have to know that I suffered before I get it. Let your children know how you suffer to get the money. That's what I mean. So you realize that there are some rich people, when they die, they give their property to their family or their children, they come back to zero. And they are shifting blames for others that they are the cause of it. No, most of the times, because of they rather give their children the fish. They don't teach them how to fish. So when they are no more there, you are giving the fish is no more there. How can a person fish? Because the person doesn't know how to fish. These are kind of the problems. So you realize that some rich people, immediately they are no more there, the children become zero. These are one of the rich people. And now, this is another type of rich people. Samba. You know, you have been asking everything and we give it to you. Whatever you want, we buy it for you. Your parents. It has never been easy when we started. When I completed, life wasn't easy. I had to start small business. When I completed, I started my business, doing my business small. In the community, they were laughing at me because the course I did, that wasn't the job I did. I was doing a different job. They were laughing at me, my own family. They were insulting me. Abu, my friend, you know my best friend Abu. My best friend, he didn't go to school. You completed with this certificate and you are selling the same thing with Abu. They insulted me. But at the end of the day, I ignore all this. And I keep on pushing. Today, those who are even insulting me, they always come back to me and beg for something. They always come back to me for me to help them. So Abu, as we are enjoying these privileges today, those cars and motors I've been buying for you, all your lecture fees and other stuff, I suffered before I get it. So Abu, learn how to manage well. Okay? Come and let me show you one thing. Read this kind of books. Okay? Know how to manage well. I do this. So you realize that this kind of rich person will be advising the child how to fish. So immediately the father is no more there, or the family is no more there. When the person inherit this, realize that life continue to be successful. And the other one, everything collapse. So we have two type of poor people and we have two type of rich people. And the poor people, one will succeed and one will come back to zero. And the rich people, one will succeed and one will come back to zero. So what I'm trying to say is that our kids, let's teach them how to fish, not rather giving them the fish. But in Africa, no. It's never been a time that the parents could even call their children and even advise them. At least your experience that you've had in life, teach your kids, teach your children. Let them know the reality behind grounds. Because the life we see on social media is not a life in reality. Most of the times. Advise your children. Don't always give them always what they want without you telling them how you suffer to get it. So that's why in Africa we realize that sometimes when some people died and their children inherited their wealth, they come back to zero and they are blaming others. So we realize that there are some people, when their parents are no more there and they inherit their wealth, things continue. And you realize that in the society, there are some poor people. You realize that immediately some few minutes, some few years, their children are doing well. And others too, they come back to zero. These are some of the things, the advices. Words carries energy. My dear brothers and sisters, words are so powerful. Let's know how to use this. Words are so powerful. Even according to quantum physics will tell you that whatever you say, whatever word you pronounce on yourself, and if you work towards it, it will happen. Yes. When I was doing my national service back in 2019, and I always listen to this particular station, Might FM. This is my secret that I'm revealing to the world. I always listen to Might FM. And you know one thing? I told myself that, oh, this radio station, one day, I'll work in this radio station. I told myself that I must work in this radio station. Look at me today. Words are very powerful. So whatever word you utter into your life and you work towards it, it will happen. So whatever ways you push it out. For me, I cannot succeed. Yes. The moment you utter the word that I cannot succeed, you realize that their words are energy. As I said, it will bring another negative thought, energies to come and tell you, oh yeah, those negative energies will come and give you many reasons to back your claim that you cannot succeed. Have you ever experienced this before? Oh yeah, it's true. This person could have tried the same thing, it couldn't happen. This person could have tried this, couldn't happen. It's true, it can succeed. Yes, that's the power of voice and the power of brain. So the brain doesn't know good or bad. So my dear brothers and sisters, please, that's why it's always good to be yourself motivator on this planet. Nobody, because there are some particular work you want to do. When you want to tell others, they will give you negative energy and discourage you. This is the self that you must try the most. I'm not saying you shouldn't seek advice. You can seek advice, but it's always good to try yourself. Don't utter any words anyhow to your own life. If you're going to utter words, let it be a positive. Be yourself a motivator. People might not even trust you. When I started writing poetry, I told friends and others about it, they discouraged me. Do you know I didn't give up? But let me tell you, do you know through this my poetry, I met a lot of people that I've never thought in this life that I'll meet them before. And they have helped me. This poetry has built me a lot. If I would have given up because of what others are saying. So I get to realize that this self, we have to stop looking for validation outside the world to tell us how great we are. We've learned something today. So one, life does not begin at 40. Yes, Life begins today. Second thing we've learned is that, please, there's nothing like future. We are always living in the future. Third, let's teach our kids how to fish. We shouldn't give them the fish. Simple and short. And even if we are in a situation, we should know how we should carry the words out to our kids, to carry our words out into our children, because we mold them, we brought them into existence. Whatever we say, we follow them. So let's know how to come out with positive energy on our kids. Yes. And the last thing I want to add is that be yourself a motivator. Please utter positive energy. Don't always doubt whatever ability you can do, because the moment you doubt, the negative energies will come, will give you many evidence to back you can't do it. So the moment you say I can do it, it will give you many evidence to show you people who struggle at the end of the day, they make it. Thank you so much.